couple more blankets over there. They all just came out of my living room, so they're fine. Uh, um, Welcome to this special service outdoors. This is the fourth time we have met to celebrate the outdoors and Wild Church, one time for each season. I know you will see many different things out in the garden now than you did in the spring. We will talk about and celebrate what you found out here and what you experienced after the service in the coffee hour. So it will be like we have done Wild Church in the past, and we'll talk about more later, but we'll move indoors for coffee hour. Here are today's announcements. Next Sunday is the official launch of the Northbrae survey. We will have just completed a 5-year plan and are going to study what we want for Northbrae's future, the next 5 years. We want everyone to fill out the survey online or on paper, so we know what you think and what you want in all aspects of Northbrae. So be sure to be here next week and learn all about the survey. If we don't have your email information, be sure to get it to the office. We want what you think is important for planning our future. And stay after coffee hour next week to hear retired librarian Barbara Hill talk about behind the scenes in the library. This coming week, we have meditation at 5 in the parlor. The song circle on Tuesday at 3:30 in the parlor. Come and sing. No experience necessary. See Carol Ann Fusco for information. On Wednesday, the Craft and Conversation group meets in the parlor from 2 to 4. Come, bring a craft, or just come and visit. Gentle yoga meets on Thursday at 10. Read your bulletin for more exciting things coming up. Please enjoy the service.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Is this too loud? Okay. We just had an amazing moment. I don't know if some of you, I'm just learning the sound of a red-shouldered hawk, and a couple people already recognize it, and that's what the bird that just flew over the open space above us. So we're being joined this morning by the world that we don't normally see when we're inside the chapel. So this is a Sunday that I've looked forward to for a very long time. This Sacred Hoop Garden is so incredible as a space. And my hope is this morning that not only the songs and the words, but the actual experience of being in this space will be part of what makes this a sacred moment. Most of you are sitting underneath this oak tree, which is one of the incredible plants that was used by the indigenous people. The acorns supplied them with flower literally throughout the year. The willow tree, they cut the branches, build shelters to live in. There are plants around here that were used for medicine, for dyes, for basket making. John will tell us more about this later. But we're in an indigenous space that we're often so removed from as we live in our houses and flick on electric lights. And so my hope is that during this time outdoors that we can intentionally open our senses to the sounds. Can you hear the water? If you listen carefully, the waterfall is going over the river, over the wall. The milkweed, Tristan's daughter counted 8 caterpillars this week, monarch caterpillars. It's also diseased right now, so if you look for the caterpillars, you also have to deal with the fact that it's not as lovely as it was a month ago. So disease is part of the natural world too. But just to allow yourself to really open to the magic and the sacredness of this outdoor space while we're here, and allow the music, the words to be part of that flow. But just relax into the space. Just take a deep breath, arrive, and know yourself to be an amazing human being in a very mysterious world. And now we will sing our opening song, Simple Gifts.
'Tis the gift to be simple, 'tis the gift to be free, 'tis the gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, it will be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend, we will not be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning we come round right. 'Tis the gift to be gentle, 'tis the gift to be fair, 'tis the gift to wake and breathe the morning air, to walk every day in the path we choose. 'Tis the gift that we pray we never lose. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend, we will not be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning we come round right.
Good morning. So this territory that this buildings are on, that this sacred hoop garden is on, this is the unceded territory of the Huchiyun within the homeland of the Chochenyo-speaking Ohlone people, the people who, yes, I know, I found it on the internet how to pronounce it. And this garden, well, we'll hear more about it. John's going to tell us more about this garden. But I ask you to recognize the fact that the ancestors lived here, the ancestors of those people who are still in the Bay Area, by the way, lived on this land. And we're going to honor the directions, recognizing that we are not alone in the world. There are unseen powers and beings, no matter what you want to call them. Angels, directions, the elements, they're all our friends and they want to be called on, so we'll call on them now. I ask you to rise as you're willing and able, and we're going to face the east. And the altar is decorated with the symbols of the air in the east. I'm going to read them and you can follow along. We invoke the powers and elements of the east. From the light of our ancient rising sun, may we renew ourselves, and as hawk who glides gracefully on the wind, we fill ourselves with the breath of clarity, insight, vision, and spirit. And we welcome the east. How do we get this off? There you go. And now we turn and we face the south. We invoke the powers and elements of the south. We invoke love, light, and the fire of creativity. Bring us to know courage, energy, and passion as we share respect, devotion, and compassion. Welcome south. And we face the west. We invoke the powers and elements of the west. Your watery blue wash us clean of deception and fear. We meet introspection willingly and create a safe and loving place to examine our hearts and our souls. Welcome west. And now we face the north. We invoke the powers and elements of the north, tall snow-capped mountains and cold, crisp air. We enter the stillness of Elter Mountain's wisdom and honor the ground on which we stand. Welcome north. And now if you'll face center. And we're welcoming the above. We invoke the powers and elements of above, We invoke Father Sky, and in his arms, we remember that we are each related to the shining stars and the swirling galaxies. Welcome above. And now the below us. We honor the powers and elements of below. We honor the beauty and genius of Great Mother. From her loving and life-giving womb, we are imbued with creativity, intuition, acceptance, and respect. Welcome below. And now if you put your hand on your heart, we invoke the powers and elements of within. We invoke spirit to join us so that we may know the joy, integrity, and light that comes by walking our true paths. And we relish in the commitment to our spirit selves' delight. Welcome within. Thank you.
You may be seated.
Hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Back in 1959, when the chapel was completed, there was no torchbearer window for Native American spirituality. That wasn't, indigenous religions weren't even considered a major religion until the 1970s. So when Ron Sebring came here in the early 2000s, he had a vast knowledge of Native American culture and spirituality, and we decided we wanted a panel in the torchbearer windows. And so we thought about replacing one of them that we had, but that didn't work out. We couldn't find one we wanted to take out. We thought about replacing some of the other windows in the chapel with a new stained glass window. That didn't work out either. So finally we decided to create this garden, and we decided to put all native plants in the garden. And we hired a landscape architect to select each plant that goes in here and have the right plant in the right place and everything. And unfortunately, I would say about half of those failed. They didn't grow well. And so ever since, we've been substituting plants to see if we can determine what grows best in this garden. It seems like we have many microclimates in this garden, and right along here and down there, the plants didn't do well at all, so we planted heuchera, it's called. It was used by the Native American, the Ohlonies here, for stomach ailments, and they grew really well along there. They only last about 5 years, so these are about ready to be replanted, but they wouldn't grow at all in that side because just the slight difference in the way the sun hit. Over here, we planted beech strawberries and California fuchsias, which did pretty well, but then we decided to add a little ceanothus plant right in the middle for some color. Ceanothus was used for headaches and things like that. It was used like we use aspirin. And that ceanothus just wants to take over everything. It loves it there. As a matter of fact, the ceanothus, that big bush at the entry, we planted that just a few years ago, and it was only a small bush, and it's grown really fast. So ceanothus really love it here. The milkweed, if we're lucky, we might see a monarch butterfly come in today. but that little area has just grown really well. That's a really good stand, but it would not grow underneath the canopy of the oak tree. Oak trees, the leaves come down and they're apparently very acidic, and it's hard to get anything to grow well under an oak tree. So we've now hired native plant specialists to come in and check the soil conditions and the irrigation system and select new plants. So we hope we can get something to go against that wall and grow up there a little better than it has so far. This, what's it called again? Willow. The Pacific willow. It's growing so fast, I think someday it's going to join up with that. Every year it grows a little bit more, and if you ever get a chance to prune it, you'll see that the limbs are really long and very supple, and the houses they built with it, the round houses, were as much as 20 feet in diameter, and they formed the structure for that, and you could see how that would work well. Over the wall there's a manzanita when you enter, and we spent a lot of money on that manzanita because we wanted one big plant that was already fairly mature. And for a couple of years it grew well, and then it started losing leaves and limbs, and we tried watering it differently and planting different plants underneath it, and we finally discovered that it's the deer that come down there and scratch their backs on it. And so unbeknownst to us, when we're not looking, they're down there. Now we have a choice of either putting a fence around it to make it grow better, or let the deer just continue to scratch their backs and as we turn our backs on them. So one way or another. But every plant in here has a story. And I have a really good friend that I've had for decades, Ray Johnston, who was the head ranger for the U.S. Forest Service in Plumas National Forest. That's Ishi country up by Oroville. And he told me once that the tribes there, everyone in the tribe could look at a hillside and they could identify maybe 250 separate species of plants on that hillside, and they would know every use of them, the way they grow, everything about them. And so for them, every plant did have a story. So when you enjoy this garden today, just remember this garden is the torchbearer window out in nature for honoring Native American spirituality. Thank you.
continue our service by singing What a Wonderful World. And Jay has offering plates and may need help, but this is an opportunity for us to give our gifts for the ministry of Northbrae as we sing.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They learn more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Oh, yeah. So we now come to the time for prayer. And I would just like to start by saying that I think that part of our call as spiritual beings is to a call to be incredibly grateful for being alive and being in a space where we can hear water at the same time that we hear a flute, at the same time that we hear an airplane, at the same time that we can hear a hawk and a crow. We live in an incredibly complex, magical, mysterious world that we're often totally oblivious to. But prayer takes us to that place of intention and awareness where we can allow ourselves to be present to that mystery, to that miracle, and open ourselves and be nourished by the fact that we are in this wonderful world. And so I invite you, then let us just take a moment to be silent in this space. Allow the sounds to surround you, the air, and just, if you'd like to close your eyes, that's fine. And just be aware of being alive. Let us be silent. Spirit of life, our hearts overflow with gratitude. We are called to be aware of our aliveness, to allow our hearts to open, to receive the gift of life, and to realize that we are called to nurture and encourage life to thrive. And we do that by becoming committed to the path of compassion and justice and peace. May it be so for all those who are suffering. May they know your peace, for we pray in your many names. Amen.
and the seed would sprout and grow. He does not know how. The earth produces of itself first the stalk, then the head, and then the full grain in the head. When the grain is ripe, the harvest has come. Mark 4. Drop the seed, cover it, pat the warm earth down, water it black. What else? Rothke heard the sucking and sobbing of cuttings putting down roots, resurrecting themselves. I hear nothing from these seeds and spindly tomato plants, but I do like sitting here in the evening air, watching the wet soil, knowing it's primed with hours of my work and its own latent power. Drop the seed, and the dirt takes over the moist warmth and the dark. It's mystery now out of my hands, but I want to follow. I want to understand what begins to wake the seeds. I want to hear that inaudible moan or hum, that chants of all the lives and parts of lives that dirt composes. I hear it after all in my mind, that steady call alive down there that cannot rise without seeds, that even now unfolds them with its infinitesimal vibration, urging them, remember now, it's time to remember yourself. John Daniel in the Trail Home Essays.
Okay, let's see if this will work. It's time to remember yourself. This is a Native American garden that honors the Native peoples from this country, the indigenous people from here, from this place. But every single one of us, I know, annoying, okay. Every single one of us, no matter where you came from, Europe, Africa, Asia, South America, every last one of us, if you go back far enough, we have indigenous roots. Our ancestors, all of our ancestors far enough back, lived on the earth and could tell you, just as the native peoples that John mentioned could tell you, they could look at a hillside and can tell you the name of every plant they saw. We all have access to indigenous mind. Now, I know that there are people here who have no problem talking to trees, knowing that they listen and that they actually talk back to you. I've had this experience. Now, I know there are also people who are really skeptical about that. What I'm asking you to do is take your skepticism, put it on a shelf. You can pick it up after this experience. But I want to invite you to go out in this campus and have a conversation with the tree people and the stone people, with the soil, with the sky, with whatever calls you, whatever wants to have a conversation with you. And if you think that's not possible, pretend it's possible and see what happens. It's an experiment. Now, it's all about kinship. We are related. Every single thing, including us human people, comes from the earth. There is nothing, even the chair comes from the earth, the bowls, everything comes from the earth. There's nothing here that doesn't. And the indigenous peoples believe that everything has some degree of consciousness and wants to be recognized. So I invite you right now, in silence, this is not about talking to the human people, I invite you to go out and listen to your body. Let your body lead you. Don't decide where you're going to go ahead of time. Just see what happens and see what you're drawn to. And if you're drawn to something, maybe go over and ask it why and listen inside and see what you hear. And when it's time to come back, we'll sound these bowls. We'll walk around and sound them. And if something calls you and wants to come with you, come back with you, bring it to you with you to coffee hour. After coffee hour, we will talk about what this experience was. So, in the spirit of life, I invite you all now to wander. We'll call you back in about 20 minutes. Thank you.
Welcome back. Our closing hymn, Blue Boat Home. If you're able, please rise.
Though below me I feel no ocean, standing on these mountain plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat
And so we come to the close of the service. Allow yourself just one final time just to breathe in and be aware of the wonder of this space. And now we can go to coffee hour in the parlor, and as we switch gears, I don't want to steal Jay's thunder, but he just showed me an incredible thing. And that is that I've been looking for monarch caterpillars on the milkweed, because that's normally where they are. And Rose, Tristan's daughter, saw 8 of them last week. I didn't see any this morning. Maybe some of you did. 1. But Jay has discovered that not on the milkweed, but around here, on what I believe are
The current?
beyond the currant, the iris, something like an iris, there are 2 milkweed caterpillars. So before you go, if you want to take a peek, they're over there and they're beautiful. You can see them very easily. Surprises are everywhere. So you don't always find what you're looking for where you're looking for it. Sometimes it appears in other places. So let's just that be the final kind of message from this service. So go in peace. Blessings.